Chick-fil-A probably has one of the tastiest chicken sandwiches on the market, but you know what? They're expensive. Near me, they are about $7 a sandwich if you want the deluxe with cheese, and it's a drive for me to get there. I don't want to spend the time or the money to have a good chicken sandwich, so we came up with a hack that we've done now probably 4 or 5 times that turns out great every time. I don't know exactly what the Chick-fil-A secret ingredients are, but what I've come up with comes really close and it's really easy to do. Let's get started. All you need are some chicken breasts, some water, some salt, some pickles, and we are going to replicate that delicious Chick-fil-A fried chicken sandwich. Now, the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna cut these chicken breasts down. These are huge. This is 2 breasts, but they're very, very large. This is gonna make 4 sandwiches. And the cost per sandwich out of your own kitchen, at least according to the ingredients that I can source locally, is going to run about $3 a sandwich, total cost in all. So you're saving more than half of what it would cost to get it at Chick-fil-A. Even more if you had it door-dashed or delivered. So let me show you how I do this. The first thing we want to do is get our chicken breasts cut down. So I'm gonna cut each in half so that I'm keeping kind of the larger rounded end, which is typically thicker by itself, so that this cooks evenly. So this end of the chicken breast is thinner, so I'll make that one piece, and then this thicker piece will be another sandwich altogether. And I'll do the same on this one. Next thing I wanna do is I wanna make some cuts in the breast itself, not all the way through. That way, this is gonna cook a little bit faster, and it's also, you're gonna be able to get breadcrumbs and seasoning throughout more surface area of the chicken. It's going to be incredible. So just going around the chicken and making some slices. And I will do that with each one. So again, not all the way through, just areas to hold extra breading and to help this cook faster. And based on how I'm holding this, I'm being really careful not to slice all the way through the chicken and into my hand. And with all of those slices made, we can get to marinating. So with only 2 chicken breasts, I probably can get away with 1 quart of water, but I'm gonna be sure that the liquid in here does cover the chicken. But we're gonna start with 1 quart or 4 cups of water. And to every 4 cups of water, we're gonna add 4 tablespoons of kosher salt. And then we're gonna get that dissolved. Now I'm gonna use some home canned pickle slices. These are dill pickles that I made. And I am gonna pour just a little bit of the juice from in here into my bowl, just a little. And now we're ready to put our chicken in. And that looks good. I'm gonna put a lid on here, and I'm gonna let this sit for anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours. All right, I let these brine for about an hour, and now I'm gonna make the coating. This is about 1 cup of flour or 150 grams. And to that, I'm gonna add 75 grams of cornstarch, which is about 2/3 of a cup. And then I'm gonna add some spices. Now, dealer's choice on these, however you think you might like this. I'm gonna add some salt. That was probably 1 to 1.5 teaspoons. Some black pepper. About a teaspoon. I have buttermilk ranch powder that I get from Azure Standard, so I'm gonna add some of that as well. That's maybe half a tablespoon. I'm gonna add some red pepper flake because we like spice. Some onion powder, about a teaspoon. Same with some garlic powder. And I'm gonna throw in just a little bit of my homemade cayenne pepper powder, which I grew the peppers for, freeze-dried, and then powdered down. And then just get it mixed well together. Combine everything up. And that's just about it. Our dredge is ready. I'm gonna get this stuff put away, give myself a little more room so that we can get to cooking. I've got some oil in my pan here. This is just canola oil, and I've put it about halfway up the pan. I'll be turning the chicken in here once, so I'll cook one half and then the other half. So I'm gonna get this burner turned on. I'm gonna turn it on to a strong medium high. I don't want it too hot because the oil will continue to rise in temperature. We're looking for about 350 degrees, and so I will test that when we get closer. But now we can go ahead and dredge our chicken. And I'm just gonna use my hands. And before we get started, I'm gonna pour a little bit of the liquid into the powder here. And get that mixed around. That's gonna make the dredge a little bit clumpy, which is gonna add some clumps to the chicken breasts as well. All right, now we're just gonna go in with clean hands and we're gonna force that dredge all over the chicken, including up into the cuts that we made. Shake off excess, and then I'm just gonna put it on a plate until we're ready to fry it. The cornstarch in the dredge is what's going to really help crisp up this chicken, and the salt in the brine is going to make so that the chicken is really juicy even after it's done frying. It's gonna be delicious. Because my hand is getting wet when I go into this bowl, I just grabbed a napkin so that my wet hand doesn't pull the coating off the chicken when I use that hand. You want to make sure that you have coating on all 4 sides of the chicken, and then go back through and just make sure you get some in the cuts. on both sides. It's a good opportunity to kind of force in some of those clumpier pieces. Shake off the excess and repeat. Four pieces of chicken ready for the frying pan. And while our oil is getting up to temp, we're gonna go ahead and make our sauce, starting with half a cup of mayonnaise. To that, I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of white sugar, 1 tablespoon of mustard. If I had brown mustard opened, I would use that. I have Dijon, so that's what I'm gonna use. A half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of red pepper flake, and just a little bit of sriracha, which is good because there's not much left in here. I think we have more upstairs. So just a little bit, get that mixed through and give it a quick taste. Wow, that is really good. Really, really good. So we're just gonna let that kind of hang out until we're ready to use it. But let's temp our oil. Yeah, the oil is ready. I did forget the apple cider vinegar. You want just a little splash of that, maybe half a tablespoon. I'm gonna pour it into a little container first because I can't find my, small jar of this. And this is gonna help to dissolve the sugar in there and also give it that little bit of extra tang. Delicious. 350. We are good to go. So very carefully, I'm going to lower each piece of chicken down into the oil. And we need 8 minutes total cook time. I'm gonna divide that cook time into 4-minute increments so I can flip the chicken at the 4-minute mark. Adding the chicken cooled the oil down quite a bit, so I'm gonna bump that heat up just a little. The oil is naturally gonna cool down as you add cold food to it, but we don't want it to go really below 325 for the 8-minute cook time. I'm gonna go ahead and get these flipped. Carefully, because the oil is very hot. 4 more minutes and we can eat. These should be done. I'm gonna temp them just to be sure. You want chicken to be cooked to an internal temp of 155 to 165. And I just got a wire rack here that I'm gonna put them on as they come out. We're good. Get that oil turned off. These look fantastic. Look how beautiful those turned out. They're gonna be amazing. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and make a sandwich. I've got some buns here. We buy the 647 a lot if I don't make them myself, just to cut down on the carb count. So that's what these are. I'm gonna add some of this beautiful sauce. Let me give you a close-up of the sauce. I didn't do that. So this sauce is gorgeous and absolutely delicious. And put a little sauce on each side of the bun. We're gonna use cheese. I've just got some sliced provolone, so that's what I'm gonna use. And just look at that chicken. It looks incredible. The warmth of the chicken will help melt the cheese just a little bit. And then I'm gonna add a couple pickles. And voila, a homemade hack Chick-fil-A crispy deluxe chicken sandwich. I am gonna cut my sandwich in half. Can you hear the crunch? That is a crunchy sandwich. Look how delicious that looks. All right, I am telling you, these chicken sandwiches are amazing. As good as, if not better than, Chick-fil-A. You see how crunchy that breading is? Now I've let this cool off for just a minute because they were screaming hot, but I am ready to give that a taste. Wow. Incredible, just incredible. Let me get just a piece of the chicken so you can hear that. Right? And the chicken is still juicy. This is phenomenal. Best chicken sandwich you can make at home, for sure. Absolutely delicious. You have to give this a try. Thank you so much for joining me for another edition of Tasty Tuesday Chick-fil-A fried chicken sandwich hack. My name is Kelly, you're at A Better Choice Homestead, and I do hope you come back and visit again soon.